I should have worn that hat.
Hello and welcome. You got to say that stuff off air, my friend. Well,
Sorry.
it's now we're on here. Now whatever you say, everybody's going to hear, and it's going to probably be entertaining. Peter Thomas Fornatale back here in the Money Media Players Podcast. This is our show for a really exciting week of racing. Okay, July 13th, Monday is today's date. But coming up this weekend, we've got so much happening. Obviously, Haskell weekend. There's a little race meet in upstate New York. People get excited about, but we've also got the opening of Del Mar and all the fun and excitement that comes with that. So, to speak with us, one of our people we love to bring in when it comes to talking all things California racing. There's so many ways I could introduce him. He's a Jockey Club steward. He is the chairman of the board of the Thoroughbred Owners of California. He's also one of the managing partners of Little Red Feather Racing. That's the hat he'll be mostly wearing on this show, but of course we'll make him wear all three. He's Gary Fenton. Gary, what's going on? I didn't even get into any of your horseplayer bona fides with that little skill. NHC final table participant. We got to throw that one in there. How's everything going, brother?
Everything is great, Peter. It's great to be here. Thanks for having me on. I wasn't making fun of your hat. I was in London, as you know, at Royal Ascot, and I went to my favorite store, Bates, and picked up another hat just like that. And I love wearing them. It's a great style.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm glad to see you rocking it out at Del Mar. Though Del Mar, one of the few racetracks where you'd be as home in the paddock in a fedora as you would in a backwards baseball
Yeah,
cap,
I
and that's
I
one of the
got an
things we
email.
love about it.
I got an email once. If we could just sidetrack just for a second, and it talked about how that maybe I could up my style at Del Mar, and I literally didn't take offense to it because at Del Mar, and it's not just me. I will see the biggest owners in California. They will walk in here in a suit, or they will walk in here with board shorts and flip flops, just coming from the beach. That's the style of Del Mar.
Many moons ago, I did a little like list ranking comparison. This was back when I was a writer for the great Saratoga Special, a publication folks should check out this summer if they are at that little race meet in upstate New York. And it was sort of like pros and cons of the two racetracks, and a big plus for Del Mar that very hot summer in upstate New York was shorts in the paddock. Not to mention the hummingbirds in the paddock too. I haven't seen too many of those in Saratoga, but no, it's one of the things we love about the place. It's got that relaxed vibe, but you can also do it in style, as people will be doing on opening day, one of the social events of the season. But I want to talk with you. We're going to have so much coverage about Del Mar. We're going to have a stats show. Matt Vagvolgi is going to be participating in that. You can find that on the In the Money Media YouTube channel coming up soon. Obviously, we're going to have coverage of opening day. I think Matt Bernier and I will be talking about that. It's going to be part of our In the Money Horse Players Tour game this weekend, Saturday coverage as well. But here, I want to talk to you specifically about not just your thoughts on the upcoming meet as a horse player, but in your role at Little Red Feather. I want to hear about some of the horses you're going to be bringing out, and what
I,
better place to start than your plans for opening weekend?
I couldn't be more excited for all of our partners. We have six stake runners just opening weekend. We have nine stake runners in the first book. Little Red Feather has an incredible team in terms of bloodstock agents and trainers, top to bottom. I'm very proud of the way that the team has performed over the last year, and we're coming into Del Mar absolutely loaded. Opening weekend should be a lot of fun. We throw our opening week party Thursday night. We'll have probably 70 to 100 partners there. It's a lot of fun. It's a great kickoff to the meet. And this is it. This is what we all are in this sport for, the summer meets here at Del Mar or at Saratoga. It's opening day is what we call the summer Christmas. It's an incredible day of racing, and we're very excited for it.
Well, let's get into some of the particulars. The usual featured race on opening day, the Oceanside. You've got a couple of participants in this one in the form of Geordie Bear and Later Than Planned. Talk to me about what's been up with them.
Well, two Irish imports that we brought in last year. One through a friend of ours at Glen Hill Farm, Craig Burnick, who's just an absolutely super guy and super owner. I know you know him well. He called us and he wanted to buy out his partners and bring this horse to the United States. And he wondered if we were interested, and he wondered if Phil was interested. And we absolutely jumped at the chance. Unfortunately, when he came out here, he developed a baby injury, so we had to put him off on the shelf for a little bit. But he has come back absolutely fantastic. He ran second in an allowance race, and excuse me. And we believe he is absolutely ready to take on stakes competition here on opening day. Later, their plan was something that we also do by bringing in 2 year olds from Ireland through our great bloodstock agents at BBA Ireland. Niall Dalton has been our bloodstock agent for a number of years. We brought Larry Plant in last year, uh, broke his maiden at Del Mar, won the Speakeasy at Santa Anita, and then ran in the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint. Finished sixth that day. And as you can see in his PPs, somebody might ask, well, is he a sprinter? Is he more of a miler? To be honest with you, he's a 3 year old, and I think we're going to find out kind of where he wants to be on Friday. It does seem like he's done better in the sprints than in the mile races. But our trainer Phil D'Amato believes that he can get the distance. He might actually relish the distance, the distance. And like I said, we'll find out on Friday. But we're very excited about both of our opening day um, horses. It's the Oceanside. It's a listed stake, but it's been the opening day stake for years and years and years. And for anybody in California racing, it's a race everybody wants to win. We've won it twice. We won it twice in a row a couple of years ago, and there's nothing better than opening day and winning that stake.
It's got to hit a little bit different just because of the magnitude of the day. I mean, for people who've never been to Del Mar opening day, there's an actual analog. I mean, it's different, of course, but it is a little bit like a San Diego version of the Kentucky Derby, just in terms of like the media attention. You'll have all the local media out. It'll be packed to the gills. Everybody dresses up in the clubhouse anyway. It really is special. One quick note on Jordy Bear before we move on is I was thinking that in that stateside debut at Santa Anita, he really looked like a horse. He was going, I think, sixth that day, but really looked like a horse for whom the mile is going to bring about improvement. Are you looking at it that way as well?
Oh, for sure. Oh, for sure. If you look at the breeding and discussing with Craig, this horse should be able to get the distance, no problem. He was coming off a layoff, so we found the right race for him. Phil likes to sometimes start off a little bit shorter and then move on from there, especially with a Euro grass horse, and that's what we were doing with Jordy Bear.
Let's talk about some of your other stakes runners this weekend. You've got a bunch of them lined up for the Saturday feature, one of the Saturday features, the Grade 2 San Clemente. Talk us through this triumvirate.
Yeah, no, we've got 3 horses in the San Clemente, which is very exciting. There'll be a lot of partners out there, obviously for those three. 3 unique horses, all on their own. One Cortina that we bought for our SoCal fund. It's our most popular partnership. We create a fund at the beginning of every year, and we try to buy. Either stakes quality, small pieces of stakes quality horses or claim horses, and it's really fun. Cortina was part of last year's fund, and we carried it over, and she's training very well. She broke her maiden a couple of weeks ago, and we figured she's ready for this step. As you know, we don't swing for the fences. We want to put horses where we think they belong, and so that's why we're taking a shot here with Cortina. Peter Butterbaum is really one of my favorite horses. She is a horse that we bought at the OBS sale last year for $40,000. We had targeted this horse. We had budgeted this horse in the twos, and it was one of the first horses of the day, and it was just sitting there at 35,000, and we couldn't believe it. And when horses like that, give your audience a little context, you start questioning yourself. You're like, what did we miss? Nobody else, like we budgeted 200 to 300,000, and there it is at 35,000. But we stuck to our guns, and we did our homework, and we purchased her for 40, and she's just honestly been looked like a real stakes horse from the very beginning. She's named after the famous dessert at the Pamplemousse restaurant right across the street here from the racetrack. And the Strauss brothers who own the restaurant are part owners with us. So she broke her maiden at first asking last year. Had a couple of thirds and finished won an allowance race a few weeks ago. And again, another horse that I think really belongs here. Finally, we've got Inbox, another one of the Irish imports from Niall Dalton and BBA Ireland, and she's just been fantastic since she came out here. She finished second in the honeymoon to another one of our horses a couple of weeks ago, and again, we're very excited about the trio. We've had a Little Red Feather exacta in a graded stake race. We had it in the honeymoon a couple of weeks ago, but we've never had a trifecta. So I'd love to see all three horses kind of hit the board together and make all of our partners happy.
You've got three live chances, that's for sure. The co-feature on Saturday is the San Diego, where you've got a stable star, the horse that gave you that great thrill back in the Breeders' Cup in 24. Iron Man Cal made that furious run, almost getting to Henri Matisse. Bit of a departure here for Iron Man Cal on the surface switch. Tell me what led to that, and give me your overall assessment of how he's doing.
Well, here's obviously an incredible horse named after a credible human being, Cal Ripken. And heading into his 4-year-old year here, we really weren't sure kind of what we had, considering he's had a couple of breaks in his career. But he came back really strong. And the one thing that we've noticed over the years is he trains on the main track, and he trains absolutely fantastic on the main track. A lot of turf horses, as many people know in California, they will train at Santa Anita on the inner dirt, which is the synthetic. Most turf horses will do that, but Ironman Cal is always trained on the main track. He's trained fantastic. And we sat down with Phil and we said, why don't we take a shot here? He's 4 now. And maybe we can win some big races with him on the dirt. So here's his first test. It's not an easy test. We got a lot of great horses in here, but we'll see what we got.
Yeah, I mean, from a pure value point of view, and just knowing the kind of horses that can win graded stakes in some of these California races as the year goes on, it's almost like, why not take a shot? And you look at the stats for Phil D'Amato when he'll make a move to the dirt. I mean, he's done this type of thing before. So, I mean, if he's signing off on it, if you guys are signing off on him, I'm very curious to see how Ironman Cal gets on there in the San Diego. Oh, got
We
a bunch of other things I want to ask you about, but you go ahead.
Oh no, I was going to say we made this move a number of years ago with Midnight Storm. Here's a horse who was a
Right.
Grade One winner on the turf, and now Ironman Cal is a gelding. Midnight Storm was not, and we figured for breeding purposes we would take a shot, and successfully we did. We won a Grade 3 and a Grade 2 with him, and he finished second in the big cap. So it's a move that Phil has made. It's a move that we have made, and again, like I said to you before, we don't take big chances. We take strategic chances, and we make strategic moves here. And we really believe that Ironman Cal will perform well on Saturday, and keep our fingers crossed.
Yeah, and future value isn't just stud value. Of course, it's what the money you can win on the track, and if you can transfer the kind of form he has on the turf to the dirt historically, that's going to make him a major player, not just Saturday, but also beyond. Really interesting to see what happens. Give us an overview of anything else you got cooking already in the early this weekend or in the early part of the meet. Any runners in particular you want to talk about? And of course, before I let you get out of here, we're going to talk about some 2-year-olds as well. But what else you have coming up in the early part of the meet?
Well, we have our Grade 1 winners coming up in the second weekend. We've got Gold Phoenix, who has won the Del Mar Handicap 4 consecutive years. Only a very few horses have ever done that. He's 8 years old. He's an incredible horse. He's taken all of our partners really on the ride of a lifetime. Um, every year it's a debate on how we prep for that Del Mar Handicap, and it's obviously a good problem to have in the 5th consecutive year we've had it. This year he's just tearing down the barn. So he ran in the San Juan Capistrano, and we'll put him in the Eddie Reed next week as a prep for the Del Mar Handicap. Also, the same weekend, we're really giving some serious thought again, man, going from turf to dirt and putting thought process. Our Grade 1 winner in the Clement Hirsch. Again, there's another horse that trains very well in the mornings, and we just figured this is what you do with a horse like that. She's a Grade 1 winner on the turf. Obviously, increase her broodmare value to put her on the dirt. We wouldn't do it with a horse like that unless we thought she actually could perform well. And so we're giving some serious thoughts to that Grade 1 as well.
Interesting. That'd be really cool. I'm so glad to hear. Sounds like Gold Phoenix is just his usual self. I mean, we're not used to seeing horses run at 7 and 8 here in North America, but of course, still be a horse on the rise. If we were talking about jump racing in England, horses can continue to mature and improve and not just hold form, but sometimes get even better. Sounds like you don't have any doubts about where he is in terms of still having his real love of racing, something he's always shown that he really enjoys.
Oh, for sure. I mean, and Phil D'Amato has great experience with horses like this. He had a horse named Obviously, who I think won the Breeders' Cup at 8. Um,
Yep.
and he trained under Mike Mitchell, who did the same thing with turf horses. And here's Gold Phoenix. Again, we just watch him every single week and marvel at how, knocking on wood, how healthy he is. He has remained, and like you said, you not just healthy, but to be able to compete at the world's biggest stage continuously like that, you have to really enjoy your job, and you could just see it every morning when he's out on the track.
Let's talk about the LRF Cares Charity Challenge, Gary. Another one of the highlights of opening weekend at Del Mar. This is, I think, the 7th year you've been doing this. It's a great chance to get to the coolest horse player party out there in Las Vegas, the National Horse Players Championship. Give folks the lowdown on how to get involved.
We are so thankful to our friends at the NTRA who support LRF Cares and support Aftercare and help us run this tournament every single year. It's $250. We guarantee 2 spots. It's 1 per 40. After that, last year we had 88 players in it, so we're expecting anywhere between 80 and 120. So it's not like you don't have a shot here. You have a very good shot to make it to the big dance. But thanks to horseplayers.com and the NTRA, they waive all of their fees. So anything outside of the 2 seats that we have to buy goes to LRF Cares. I think we raised $10,000 or $11,000 last year for Aftercare, and so we're very appreciative of not only the industry who helps support it, but all the players as well who go into the contest and know that they're not only trying to get to Vegas, but they're helping Aftercare as well.
It's a great cause. It's a great contest. Horseplayers.com, the place to get involved. You can buy in directly on horseplayers.com, or you can feed in with some of the contests going on there this week. Horseplayers.com, the place to check out the LRF Cares Charity Challenge. Back to the LRF participants in the early part of the meet, or is it time for me to start picking your brain about some 2-year-olds?
You tell me. We've got a couple of really nice 2-year-olds that are training well. Clear and Present will debut early in the meet, and Lucille B, who we named after Lucille Ball, who is a mainstay at Del Mar for many years. Also grew up in the same town as, well, didn't grow up, but lived in the same town as Billy and I for many years. She's one of the greatest actresses of all time, greatest comedians of all time. It was just fitting that we would name her horse Lucille B. And so we're excited for her. She's been training really well, very professionally. I watched her breeze out of the gate for the first time on Saturday, and she looks like a stone cold runner.
Awesome. I may be dating myself with this reference. I know I am, but I know from my daughter that people still watch Friends in 2026. There would be no Jennifer Aniston without Lucille Ball. That's how I would explain it to my daughter if she asked me for a point of comparison. And of course, it was all the more impressive because she was doing it at a time when women in the entertainment industry had an even harder go of things. Amazing comedian and a huge supporter of horse racing. So is there any truth to that, Gary? Like a name like that, if I see that name in the program and I know you and Billy and your connection to Hollywood, I'm saying to myself, they're not using that name on one that can't run. Is there anything to that, or is that just things horse players tell themselves?
I think that's something the horse players tell themselves, at least for us, because we named them very early on. And
Gotcha.
listen, we've had some success over the years, and so she has to check all of the boxes. But it's not like all of a sudden we look and go, we don't not name them until they're further along, and then we
Gotcha.
assign the
That's
better
very funny.
names to the better horses. So
I like
well,
that little bit of.
well, and I'll give you an example. Marty Fish, who's a family friend and just won the ACC Golf Championship up in Lake Tahoe over the weekend. He wanted to buy into a horse, and he said he wanted to, but only if he can name it. And so we said, well, if it's a good name, of course we'll name it. And he looked at me and he goes, "How about Marty's Fish?" And I thought that was hilarious. And so we named a horse Marty's Fish, and we bought the horse, and he was the slowest runner of all time. So it's a good example of how we go about doing things and how sometimes they work out and sometimes they don't.
All right, I got to ask you about some. Have you put your other metaphorical hat on and ask about some of your TOC business, because I know things have been pretty stable and good out there in California, and with this meet coming up, I know excitement is very high. But how are things looking? Give me the sort of this is maybe unfair,
I,
but a very quick state of the union
No,
about racing in California.
Paul Redham likes to say I wear rose-colored glasses, and I do. So I'm just generally a very positive person. So but I really do believe California in the last couple of years. I don't know, a lot of people really haven't noticed. Santa Anita maiden special weight was 60,000. I think we're going to be closer to 75. That's a 2-year upswing, and that's not because we've got any ancillary revenue. That's just the industry doing a little consolidation here, but really strategically moving things in the right direction. And our horse population is maintained relatively stable over the last couple of years. Everyone has seen a little bit of a drop. We'll see a little bit of a drop this year. My guess is we were at 8.7 starters per race at Del Mar last year. We might be at 8.5, I think. So I think there'll be a little bit of drop just because everybody is down a little bit. But 8.5 for a meet out here in Del Mar and is absolutely fantastic. It's still better than most of the last decade. So I like the way things are going out here. Trainers seem to be relatively happy. Nobody's really making any major moves. Trainers have done what they've always done, which is have different barns somewhere. There's just not enough opportunities for everybody here. People were talking about how Baffert left, and I actually said he was kind of the last guy to do it. Everybody else has multiple barns. Everybody on the East Coast has multiple barns. Nobody could just be on the New York circuit. Nobody could just be in the Kentucky circuit. You've got to have different barns because there's just not enough opportunities for your horses if you stay in one place. So trainers have it here. It's not a big deal. Our population has been relatively stable. So I like the way things are going, and I think we're going to have an unbelievable meet here at Del Mar.
Any new horsemen, horsewomen to have an eye on for the course of the meet? Anybody connections wise, talking trainers, jockeys that you're looking forward to seeing how they get on?
Well, it'll be nice to see Umberto Rispoli come back after his injury. It's good to have Joel Rosario out here. The jockey colony is pretty good in my eyes. I know everybody has different opinions on different jockeys, and they look at the Ortiz brothers or Flavian Pratt and think that New York has an incredible jockey colony, and which they do. But I like the way our jockeys are out here. New trainers and stuff. No, David Jerkins and Tom Robbins have done an excellent job recruiting the same cast of characters that come out here time and time again. There's a couple of new shooters. Brian Lynch is bringing some horses out here. I think some of the older horse players remember Brian Lynch used to be out here many years ago. What I like to see at opening weekend. You're already seeing some shippers coming in. So I don't know that you'll see necessarily somebody come out with 50 horses. I think that would be unusual, but just seeing horses ship back and forth and being a little bit, acting like we're a little bit less of an island than people think we are, I think is a great first step. But you'll notice in the entry box, there's a lot of non-Californians that have shipped out here for it. So there you go.
That sounds great. We're going to have coverage of the Del Mar meet all meet long in themoneypodcast.com. We're going to have daily written analysis by Dean Kepler, some of the most popular stuff we do on the site all year long. We're going to have shows for, I think, pretty much every Saturday at least, bonus coverage, even more on the In the Money Plus side, including a Del Mar diary, inthemoneypodcast.com/plus if folks want to check that out, as well as lots of extra racing content from all around. I'll throw it to you just for an open-ended, any closing thoughts before we send this one out in the ether, my friend?
Well, I'm going to give you some props, Peter. You and your team at In the Money have done an excellent job. Just being there for the horse player, being their spokesman. These shows are absolutely fantastic. They're a wealth of knowledge. And so a little bit of credit to you and your team for all that you do for our industry.
Flattery will get you everywhere, my friend. Really appreciate having you on.
I read that somewhere in a book.
We've got horseplayers.com, the LRF Cares Charity Challenge, many more contest opportunities coming up behind that. Check out dmtc.com for further details, or just subscribe to the In the Money Media YouTube channel, because we're going to have coverage of all of it. Give us your thoughts. What are you most looking forward to about this Del Mar meet? Drop that in the comments, and we'll see your name on the leaderboard. For Gary, I'm Peter Thomas Fornatale. May you win all your Del Mar photos.